Stev, it's great to see you here in India, in New Delhi. Could you please first tell us what brings you here?
Well, obviously, it's this ChessBase interview. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm actually here for the FIDE torch for the 45th Olympiad that is taking place in Budapest, Hungary this year in September. And the launch of the torch is gonna be here in India. It's my first time in Delhi, but not my first time in India. And just thinking of it gives me goosebumps again, because in India nothing is made small. Everything is big, everything is exciting. So same with the torch ceremony. It was great to see that there was not only a ceremony, but there was also a tournament with kids. So there was chess players, and everything got mixed: performance, entertainment, and of course the traditional torch ceremony. So I enjoyed it, and also the venue was really nice in front of the hockey stadium with a park in the back, the famous India Gate. So I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. Now, there was one more thing that happened during the ceremony, if you want to tell us about it.
Well, as you know, I've been working on a book called Capture, an exchange between photography and chess, which you can see here behind me. And I'm very honored to be part of this celebration that FIDE is having this year for their 100th year anniversary. It was the official launch of the book. I was nervous, but I enjoyed it a lot, yes.
A book is a tick mark or a check mark in almost every artist's life, right? So let's go, before we come to the book, let's dive a little deep into your life. Do you remember the first time you picked up a camera?
I can't tell you the exact first time. What I do remember is that my grandma from my father's side gave a film camera to me and my sister. I think, if I remember correctly, it was a Canon, but I was only 7 or 8 years, so I have actually no idea why she gives a camera to 7 or 8 years old, but somehow that thought stuck with me. At some point I just got the camera from my mom, so my dad was tired of looking at 100 pictures that were showing the same thing, because my mom loved to take photos during our vacation trips. And at some point he just gave the camera to me and said, "You are responsible for our vacation photos." So I just took a couple of photos, and more like a hobby. And then it kind of disappeared. It's very similar to my chess life in that age range. It went, it came, it went, it came, and at some point I just got stuck.
Oh, that is really interesting. So what happened next? When did you actually think that you can turn it into a profession, or when did you choose this path?
That's actually quite a long story. So I'm happy that ChessBase India never puts a time limit on an interview, so I can explain. But I dropped out of school when I was 17, and by the time I was living in Sweden, as many of your viewers know, I'm born in Germany. My passport is German, but I grew up in Sweden. And when I dropped out of school, I got unemployed, and I was really lucky that by that time the Swedish government had a program where they helped young unemployed people to find a job. The government paid your fees, and the employer gets your services for free. And we got to choose which direction we wanted to go. And I just remember that when I thought about it, I somehow saw a camera somewhere, and I thought, why not? Let's try this. And there was a couple which was living in the small town I grew up in, Sweden, worked as a professional photographer couple, and I took the chance, and the rest is history from there. The moment I walked into the office, I kind of knew this is what I want to do. It was quite fun.
Amazing. But at that time, was it film or was it already digital?
Still film. You could already find digital, and when I assisted, I learned obviously the digital part, but I learned both. So I can develop film, and I still shoot on film, which I keep very personal to me. I never talk about it. I never bring my film camera. It's just something that I do once in a while for myself. But I think as older you get, as more you appreciate the taste of a good wine, and it's the same with the analog camera. So as older you grow, as more also your confidence grow that I can do certain jobs with an analog camera, because nowadays it's just so easy when you miss or something happens that you just erase new. So it's a whole new level of pressure when you have film and only a certain amount of frames.
Right. there are two different schools, obviously, and there are people who are still shooting on films and they could not make the transition to digital. So you made a very valid point that you keep films to your personal compositions and not into your professional. So does it impact when you shoot some of the photographs that we will see in the book? Do you think go back in the edit room and think I could have shot this on a film? Or are you like, no, my work profession is digital and I'll keep the film away?
I'm not a could-have person. Easy answer. I'm not a could-have person.
Okay.
I make a decision, and I think you need to stick with your decision, and then whatever the outcome is, you have to work with that. So I never think, oh, this would have been nice in film, because I would never be able to finish anything if I think like this, because there's so many things. You're a photographer yourself. If I could have had this lens, or if I could have lived. No, you got to work with what you have, and then you move on from there. So easy answer.
Right. So you mentioned that you were working with this couple and you came into the world of photography. So were there someone who you were looking up to, the photographs you were taking? Were you searching the world of photographs or photography? Do you have any role models when you were growing up?
Not specifically role models, but I looked up to what National Geographic was doing, and I enjoyed. For me, photography was more. I never really I didn't really think this is a profession from the very beginning. For me, it was a way out of the village. So, because when I saw the photographer couple and they got different jobs in different cities, this is something that I remember very clearly. Is when I had to do their archiving, I saw all these maps and they were marked like, oh, this is in Stockholm, and this is in Copenhagen, and this is in the south of Sweden, and this is in the north of Sweden. And I quite enjoyed the thought of if somebody hires me, they pay my travel and my hotel, and I get to go all the way up to the north of Sweden and get to experience a whole new place. And that structure of archiving later brought me to see that the camera can be a tool to get out. But I just made it on a way bigger scale. It was not Stockholm and Malmö. It was Stockholm and India. It was Stockholm and Australia. So that's what actually light up the fire of photography and see what photography could do. Not photography itself. It really was what this camera can do.
Okay. Then we come back to the book. So when did you decide that you are going for a book? Because a book is a big commitment. It takes long hours, years of dedication, years of planning, and obviously a great team. So if you can tell us, how did you come up with the book?
Well, as many of you know, I already spoke to ChessBase India about this, how I came working with chess, and I said straight from the beginning that I want to change the way that people look and perceive chess, because personally I believe chess is stuck a little bit in the past, and I think we need to look a little bit to the future, something I would like to discuss with you later as well. But the idea for the book is David Yada. Again, simple answer. I saw his book. He was the person who brought me into chess, and I saw the joy that the book brought to him every time somebody was holding his book or ordered his book, and that was the main inspiration for this book, which I also said at the very end of the book. So yeah, the idea got born to do a chess book with David Yada, and then FIDE. I'm very honored to be able to do what I do because of FIDE, and FIDE saw potential in this, and then it's like a puzzle. You have your event photos, and then you do your social projects, and then you're in Kenya, and then you're in jail in Chicago. The obvious process there is, okay, we need to put this together and show the very best photos in a book. That's kind of how I approached it. Yeah.
Right. Could you please tell us, how did you select the photographs of the book? How easy or difficult was it?
I'm getting sweaty hands just thinking about this. So after I finished last year I was on the road for 8 months to collect the main part of the book. So I traveled to Kenya, I traveled to the US, Latvia. And when I finished this whole process in October, I said, I'm gonna not do anything for 2 months, 3 months. I just gonna lock myself in my RV. I'm gonna go to Portugal and just work with the selection. And I'm sure you know this as well. It's so difficult to to select an image, because you don't select them for you, you select them for representing chess. And some images I have a personal connection to, which I would like, but they don't fit in the book, or they don't suit the book, or they don't complement the book. So that was the most annoying process. As always, it's the same when I update my website, what pictures goes on the website, and you have to remove your ego and your own emotions from the pictures. It's I hate that process so much, because it takes me so long and it's so hard. It's when I say hate, obviously I love it because it's part of the process, but for me it's the hardest part of the process, to be able to make a selection.
Okay. Now let's come to the title.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us about the idea behind the title.
The idea behind the title, I had many ideas and other people had many ideas, and then I took everything from all sides and I put it together. So the first few ideas for the title we came up with, I say we because again, David Yada, Dana, other people, when I was in China shooting the World Championship of the ladies. And capture is something that obviously happens in chess, and it also happens in photography. I capture a frame or I capture a piece. And this is an exchange between photography and chess, and we can also exchange pieces. So I like to connect small puzzles, and there's also a few Easter eggs in the book, which I will not mention. I just want to see if people see them. Because I'm a big fan of Nintendo old school Super Mario. They always put in small Easter eggs somewhere, and then I always had a small thing for that, so I decided to do that with the book as well. But for me, it was important to make it short and sweet and to make a connection between chess and photography, so people know that it's not just a photography book or it's not just a chess book, that everybody can pick up this book and immediately know what this is about. So that's the idea behind the title.
Excellent. I personally love the title.
Thank you.
And it goes with the cover photo. And if next coming to that, how did you select the cover photo?
That was easy. I shot it, I knew it. That was easy. Some pictures you know, when you shoot an event, I don't know how it's for you, but for me, sometimes you get this one click and you know immediately 72-31, that's the frame. And you go back to that. I don't even need to look at any other photos because I know that's the one. And when I shot this photo, that was pretty clear for me that's the photo. I wanted to have something that's different. I wanted to have something that is not usual chess. This book is to provoke not only chess players, but also everybody who works in the media field of chess. That it's not just about a picture of a face sitting in front of a board. There's so many more possibilities. So yeah, that was very easy. I had another one which I quite liked, but
It did not make it.
It did not make it. I listened to advice from other people, and I'm not shy of saying that I don't always have to get my will through, and I get some very valid advice by some people, which later led to that this is the main picture. Yes.
As this is the cover photo, I want you to tell us about this photograph, if you want to share the story of this photo.
There is a very long story. I actually don't know how much I can tell about that story because
This is a very unique photograph because when I look at it, I see that it's not a picture; it's a composition.
Yes.
Like you cannot randomly picture this,
Yes.
right? It was composed. So tell us about what was your thought, or it randomly everything got into place.
So last year I traveled to different prisons around the world to document the social project Chess for Freedom from FIDE, and that's a picture I just had it in my head somehow. It's I don't know why, the hands, jewelry. It just popped up. We can just start to discuss where does an idea come from. I don't know where they come from. It was just there. It's sudden, and I shot the photo, and then this photo was actually close to not being able to see the daylight because of certain rights and copyrights, because you have to remember you shoot in a prison. So I really had to fight for this picture to see the daylight, which eventually or additionally led to that I really wanted to have that photo. Because again, when I took it, I knew it, and then to get an email where this photo might not be licensed to be published was immediately for me, okay, I need to fight for this. And I'm not afraid of picking up a fight for what I believe in. And here we are, the pictures on the book. Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, if you can take us through your book, and maybe if you can show some of the work or some of your favorite photographs from the book. I'm sure that all the photographs are very dear to you. If you can pick up some of the pages and some photographs and share a story with us.
Well, now you make me do another selection. Which photos should I show you? Yeah, obviously the cover is one of my favorites. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked it as a cover. I like this, and then I thought, what is the flow gonna be of this book? And I know that chess players or the chess universe is very calculated. Moves are very calculated. So I actually decided not to have a specific order, just to put them in a pot, mix it up, and then throw them out there. So might be some people who like the fact that one page is not like the other, and some people might not like it. But I decided I want every photo to be jaw-dropping or be a surprise for the viewer. A friend of mine actually had a radio show back in the day, 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there, called No Fillers, Only Killers. And that is my mantra of my selection, and that's why I decided to mix it up and just want to have one killer after another. And of course, if you do a book like this, you have to start with a certain photo. And I don't know what you think, but it's not necessarily my favorite photo, but it's a photo that deserves to be number one, because Ding Liren is number one. So the world champ comes first. So yeah, that's was one big decision, and I like the cover. I like the picture. Yeah, because it reminds me of the time and the match between Ding and Jan, which was amazing. I think nobody will forget it that quickly. And yeah, we can just continue. This is one of my favorite photos. It's shot in a school in the slums of Nairobi. And as you can see, the people and the kids, they love chess. It's a whole thing, and they don't need to play for themselves. They can watch. And I just like, the community feeling and the friends feeling in this picture. So that's why I wanted to open with the world champ and then show the contrast of that's what the top looks like and that's what the bottom looks like.
I just want to interrupt you here. As you are opening the book, it's the first time I'm also seeing it.
This is yours, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that we should not call this a book. This is like an album. Like a book is something like when we hear the
That's very true, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like opening a galaxy or opening a world.
Yes.
And it's a story on its own. So I think this is, I don't know how you came up with these dimensions, but this looks so like out of the world already.
Mm-hmm. I like your thought. It's actually not a book, because a book you kind of read. This you don't really read. Yes. I wanted to keep focus on the images. So I didn't want to work with text, because I'm a photographer, I'm not a writer. And photography is what I do. And I wanted to show the quality of each frame, because each frame has a possibility to inspire somebody to pick up a board and start playing, which again, we come back to the quality. I don't believe in that you need to call bad photos an amazing shot just because it's your friend, because it does not help your friend to evolve in their art or their work. I believe in honesty, and I believe in that every frame should be clean and you should see the high quality. And the difference between people shooting with their phone and me shooting with my camera, this is where you see it. You see it in print, and I wanted to keep it clean, so that's why I decided to make big frames and small frames, mix it up a little bit for the viewer. I don't really know. We could go through the entire book because there's a lot of photos that I really like. Let me see. Yeah, this is obviously one of my favorites as well. This was shot at the refugee camp in Kakuma in collaboration with the UNHCR. And this is outside the Angelina Jolie School. And I think it represents what chess can be. It can be freedom. It can take you places. It can take you out from this prison of wherever you are. It's not a prison. I considered school a prison back in the day, so you have to use your fantasy a little bit. But what I mean by that, and it's unusual. It's something that you don't see every day because people are used to seeing chess players at the table, and this is as far off as you can go. A little bit further, obviously, of course, now we start to go page by page. The goat had to be in there. in my opinion. My favorite chess picture in general for me, from me, is this photo, so it had to be in there. It's more a product photo, not really event photo or a portrait.
You have photos of some of the best players in the world, some of the most photogenic chasses, and yet you decided to go for a picture that was like obviously very close to your heart.
Yes.
So that's a very strong decision to take, because we know that covers sell books, right?
Yes.
If you had a Magnus photo,
Yes.
Ding photo, it is already a seller, because people know, okay, I'll find Magnus photographs, I'll find Ding photographs.
Yes.
Or maybe people who doesn't even play chess, they can pick up a book. Okay, this is Magnus, I know it. But to have a cover which actually means something, which actually is your work, which is actually your thought process, is such a bold decision.
Well, I don't want people to know my work because of my name on the photo, which is also a reason why you won't, or you have to look for my name on the book, as you can recognize. I want people to enjoy the photos, not the person who took them or for who is on the photo. So that's very important. What I like about making decisions with this book is that in the last year there were so many images that the world really haven't seen yet, which are only in the book. I haven't published them. So it was actually quite easy, because they were surprising to me as well at some point. So we traveled far to the end of the lands of Africa, even to different tribes, and I think most people are familiar with the Maasai tribe. We brought them chessboards. Not only did I work with FIDA, I also worked with the Gift of Chess, who contributes with handing out chessboards for people to learn. So yeah, there's a lot of surprises in here for the people.
Okay, so finally, for the people who are looking forward to get this book, what can they expect? You have already mentioned a lot.
Yes.
But if there are some surprises that you have for them, and what is your vision with this book?
My vision ended the moment this book went to print. I had this conversation with Judith Polgar yesterday at the dinner table. It's out of my hands. Once you print it, it's really out of your hands. I wanted this book to be something new, because we don't live in the past. We live in a time where we should evolve, and where we should see what we can contribute to the topic of chess or photography. I didn't want to do something that already existed. So that starts with the textile on the side, as you can see.
I wanted you to point these out, that the book looks so well made.
Yes.
So well made. If you can just guide us through what are the details that you have.
Yes. Something that I wanted to do, and I've always been a fan of matte photography prints. Most people like glossy. I don't know what it's for you, but I like matte. So the boldest decision for me was to decide to make the cover matte. And then I like fancy, and I wanted to be this luxurious page turner that is available for everybody. So the textile on the side, the print company that I worked with, they were very helpful. They helped me with the entire process. Even for the paper inside, we looked for the possible best photo paper on this planet, which is another reason why I printed in Germany, because Germany is known for their print company. Book authors and publishing houses are coming from all over the world to print in Germany. So I wasn't shy of spending an extra buck, which gave me a couple of nights without sleep, because you have to make that money as well in order to spend the money. But I like to only do the best, and it starts with the cover, it starts with the material you printed on, and that was very important to me. Yeah, and I actually saw it by myself for the first time yesterday.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. You are a professional photographer, and I know that by looking at your comments and the photographs that you click and which you share on social, there are a lot of people who try to learn things, right? So what can somebody learn from your book?
Quality over quantity. I said this 100 times in your videos and the interviews that we did together, and that's something that is really important to me. We had this conversation before. as well. For me, it is very important to strive after the best you can do. I wouldn't say I don't like people. I say I have a problem with people who don't live up to their best capacity or try their best. I think we can appreciate how small the chances are that we walk on this planet, that we get to live life, and I think it's a shame that you waste your time by not trying to do your best. And often when I have arguments with other photographers or people about photography or whatever it is, that's the main reason. I can accept every form of photography. What I cannot accept is when you don't give your best or don't try your best. I had so many people in the chess world telling me there is no profit in books. Yeah, there's no interest in chess books. And bam, 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 bam. But rules are there to be broken, and you can only do that when you always try to give your best, and sometimes you have to fight to give your best, and sometimes you have to make enemies to give your best. That's part of the process, but I think that's something that I would like people to learn, that hard work and sticking to your guns and always try your best eventually always pays off. Maybe not next week, maybe not next month, but if you keep doing your thing, do your thing no matter if it rains, do your thing no matter if you are motivated or not. Motivation is nothing without discipline. And that's something I learned from the fighting world and working with combat sports and athletes, and that's something that I would like to pass on to others. That just keep improving and keep working on your thing. It doesn't take more than 18 minutes a day, every day, working on your craft. That it's almost guaranteed that you will have some form of success, either for yourself or financially. That's up to you, whatever you value more. I don't know what people can expect from this book. It's out of my hands. This is totally up to the people to decide if they like the book, if they don't like the book. To be honest, and this might sound very strange, I don't even care if you like it or not, because I know that your taste is different than mine. I will listen to you and I will try to find something valuable for me in what you are saying, but it will not make my day better or worse if you like my book or not, because I will learn from either outcome, either way. So I learn as much from people buying this book, looking at this book, giving me their opinion, as I hope they can learn from me. For me, that's more like, what do you think about this? Can I learn something from that? Do you have an idea I haven't thought about? That's how I see it. Yeah. It's very important to know the difference of I do this for me. I don't do an art in general. You should never do art, whatever form you do. If you play guitar, piano, if you take photos, if you paint, you should never do this for anybody else. You should do this for you, and you need to be happy. I'm happy with what I did, what I've accomplished, and of course it gives me joy when people say, hey, this is an amazing book. I'm not going to lie to you, but as I said, it's not the main reason why I do this. The important part for me is that people see what can be done and hopefully improve or inspire other generations to start to pick up a camera or the book.
Absolutely. Finally, before we let you go, I want to know your association and collaboration with FIDE, and what is the plan for before we go into Budapest 2024?
Wow, there's so many things going on. Where to start? What can I say? What can I not say? That's a good question. There is going to be, hopefully, very, very likely, going to be another capture this year.
Oh.
But not a book. Okay. It's something different. It's bigger. It's more bold. It's something that hasn't been done in the chess world at all. Damn it. This is the worst part, because I had this, we've been working on this project for a while, and it's very, very close to getting approved. But of course, you can never say it's 100% until it's 100% approved. But there will be news coming soon, and hopefully I will be able to share them with ChessBase India. What I can say though is that my goal is to someday make an outdoor exhibition with parts of the book and take it around the world and combine stunning locations with stunning images. So yeah, I've always been a fan of putting art outside instead of inside. Hint. And then there is another project which is gonna lead me on a little hiatus into videography. So my goal working in chess has been, as I said before, I wanted to change the way people perceive and look at chess by stepping up the quality, what you can find. I feel like I have accomplished this with photos, with a book. I don't think that's the best I can do. I still think after seeing the process and what I've been doing, that there's so much room to learn and do bigger things. And but now I want to tackle entertainment in a different way. So I have a crew which I work with for videos that includes people that work for big companies like Ferrari or for Red Bull, and it's going to be video, and it's not going to be content. It's going to be a piece of entertainment which hopefully will move you emotionally and attract an audience to the world of chess that has nothing to do with chess. I recently read something. I'm not the person to talk about other people's decision or what they do, but I recently read that there might be a documentary coming out on Netflix about the scandal of Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann on Netflix. I think that was announced by chess.com. I'm not quite sure. However, I don't believe in drama, and I think that there are better ways to showcase the beauty of chess than a drama scandal on Netflix. So that's what I'm aiming for next.
Great point to end the interview, and we are already looking forward for you. I personally am looking forward to the book. And congratulations, because publishing a book is a very personal thing, and it is a great achievement in life, and to put out your work is something very special. So congratulations on that, and we are already looking forward to the things that you are going to do, and all the very best for 2024.
Thank you very much for having me. And as I said, also at the ending of the book, where you have the thank you section to all the people that you would like to thank. If you get the book, you will read it. If you don't, I will tell you. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the entire chess universe for letting me into your universe and letting me do what I do. I know I'm not the easiest person to work with at times, and I hope this book or my work can inspire you as much as the people I've met in the chess world have inspired me, and also you at ChessBase India. It's a great motivation to see what you do. It always gives me the feeling I need to do more, I need to do better. You are everywhere, so I try to keep up with you guys. I appreciate it and appreciate your time. And I'm looking forward to see your book also, because I really enjoy your photography, and besides the work that you do, besides all your travels and interviews, that you find time to follow your hobbies. I really enjoy that, and I said this to you personally as well. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.